All right, moving on to episode 2, Loch Henry. Not anything to do with the Loch Ness Monster.
No.
So, yeah. This episode is just super straightforward. Honestly, doesn't really feel like a Black Mirror episode, mostly because, like, how the technology is incorporated. It's just kind of like some old VHS tapes. So I guess it's technology.
Yeah.
Technically.
Technology.
Yeah. Why? I get it. Like, she says in the episode that the analog gives it more of like a horror look or whatever, why they're using VHS tapes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I figured, spoilers obviously, guys. I figured that the dad was in on it, and if the dad was in on it, that the mom was probably in on it too.
Yeah.
And the second they showed those videotapes,
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
I kept saying to you throughout the episode, you were
What's
like, well, what do you
on?
think's going on? And I was like, I just want to know what's on those videotapes.
Yeah.
Obviously, the murders.
Right.
Something on there has links them or something, right? So I figured that from literally like the second we saw those videotapes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, like what's on those? What's really on those?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Overall, the episode's fine for me. I just found it to be like surprisingly straight.
Yeah.
Like it was just
I
kind of
agree.
like, okay, like it just felt like a pretty standard thriller,
Yeah, it did.
right? There wasn't anything remarkable or like Black Mirror-y about it. There wasn't any like twists or turns. I mean, there technically was a twist. The mom's in on it,
Right.
right? And the daughter, like, I liked that stuff. I liked that the girlfriend dies,
Yeah.
right? And how abrupt it is, and just like
That was gnarly.
and the episode ends on such a somber note.
Oh my god, so sad.
And you had made a correlation between these two episodes, episode 1 and number 2.
Yeah. Well, because both of them take, like, like a real person's
yeah.
life
Yeah.
and turn it into something for other people's entertainment.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, yeah, this one was like a way sadder version, obviously, than just Joan is awful, but
Sure, because Joan is awful, which we didn't talk about in the episode, has a very happy ending.
It
like,
does.
Joan like gets her coffee shop.
yeah, we
and,
didn't
like,
talk about that.
Selma Hayek is like, you know, the real version of her signed off on that, but then like the other actress are in her like
Eddie
BFFs
Murphy?
with
Yeah.
like they're on like. They're not on house arrest because they're both at the coffee
They
shop.
are.
So
I was
don't
wondering that
understand
too,
how that
actually.
works.
I was like, why are they... maybe it's like you have a certain, like, you can
Just
go
radius,
to your
yeah.
work and you can go home and you can't go anywhere else, or you can go, like, work and grocery store and home.
Yeah, a couple.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that episode has a much happier ending. It's actually a really sweet ending. And this one was a huge downer of an ending. I did really like that, when the mom is writing her suicide note, I like that it cuts off at 4 because we both were like,
Yeah.
it's like you think it would be forgive me, and then it's just for your movie,
For your film, yeah.
or for your film, which I don't even know how to feel about it, because that's like, and I think that's part of what his character is struggling with too, of like, did she do this? I mean, she's obviously like knows that she's gonna get caught, or at least she thought she was gonna get caught, which you had said too was kind of ironic because the girlfriend dies, so nobody would have found out.
Right.
But she's preemptively like, I'm gonna get caught and like thrown in prison or whatever, so I'm just gonna kill myself. But it also feels like she's trying to like legitimately help her son too, like give him content to use.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't go home and burn the evidence or anything, which of course is as you said, I had said, it is. It's like she thinks she's gonna get caught because the girl gets away, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I'm screwed," and she goes home and hangs herself and gives up the evidence. But the irony is that the girlfriend dies, and she would have got away with it, and she could have had a relationship with her son, and like consoled him through her death, and no one would be the wiser.
Right.
She didn't tell anybody. She had no evidence on her. She was just out there, slipped, fell, died, and her mom gave herself up because she thought the jig was up, but it wasn't.
Obviously, you know, he's also dealing with the fact that both of his parents were like sadist murderer people.
And his girlfriend that he loves is dead.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying, like, it's, you know, like, that's a huge thing to deal with on its own.
And he has to wonder, like, did my mom kill her?
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's what I would be thinking the whole time. Like, well, she killed my girlfriend before, like, she killed herself.
Yeah.
And got rid of her body, like. And it sucks, too, because it's, like, his friend, like, that helps out. Like, he gets exactly what he wanted out of it. Like, the town is revitalized. His pub is, like, super busy.
He's super happy.
He's so happy about it. And that's kind of, like, I think he sort of represents, like, the viewer, right? Like, when we're watching these, like, murder shows about real-life crimes or whatever, it's, like, you get you know, there's commentary on it. It's like watching a car crash. And there's definitely something to be said about, like, how people are drawn to, like, morbid topics. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people being interested in morbid topics. Because, I mean, like, I am for sure. I am interested in true crime. And I do think that, like, those documentaries can help spread awareness of, like, mental illness or, you know, just a variety of things that I do think it's important to get out there.
Yeah.
But, like, behind the scenes, you do wonder, like, how are the people that are working on it treating the victims, like, respectfully? Like, are they the focus, or, like, is it just trying to exploit, you know, whatever situation? And I think in this case, like, he is getting exploited in a way, like, but he's also so dead inside too that it's like, I don't think he really cares.
Yeah.
I mean, he does care, but it's like he was already kind of lost everything.
Well, sure. I mean, my dream and goal in this life is to make a movie.
Right.
And if, like, the only way I got to make a movie and it ended up winning, like, a Fangoria Chainsaw Award or an Academy Award or something, but it was, like, based on you and my daughter's death.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely take away from the enjoyment
exactly.
Completely.
And
I would just be sitting on stage like, thanks.
Yeah.
You'd be dead because it's like you lose everything to get what you want.
Yeah.
No, what I want is you guys.
Right.
So if it's between the movie and you guys, I'll take you guys for sure. So, he ultimately gets what he wants. He makes, like, an award-winning film, but at what cost?
Yeah. And it's not his choice or anything. Like,
No,
it is just, like, awful circumstances. But, you know, like, as you said, this episode is very, like, traditional thriller. And I did think it was kind of weird that there wasn't more of a focus on, like, modern technology, because that does seem to be, you know, that's the gimmick that Black Mirror is known for, is, like, what technology can, you know, how it can potentially hurt us or help us.
Sure, but technology is technology.
Yeah, it is technology, and
right.
I guess, you know, it does fit because of the VHS tapes. It's not like it's totally without any technological involvement.
This is analog horror.
But it is analog, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the episode. I mean, I don't know. I've liked all the episodes we've watched so far.
Honestly, my biggest gripe with the episode is that it's a Black Mirror episode, which is such a weird gripe. So it's kind of unfair, because I do like the episode. Like, if this was just a movie, and it played out exactly like this, I would be like, yeah, it was a pretty good, standard, predictable enough film with good performances, a decent atmosphere, because this is definitely the most horror episode of the season thus far.
Yeah.
A little more on the thriller side, but horror aspects for sure. But he finds, like, the Poughkeepsie tapes in his mom's house.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, like...
Yeah, it's fine. It's just, I don't know. It just didn't pack the same wallop. But I honestly don't think that's fair, because it does use the technology. It does have a twist. And in the end, I did leave it feeling something like, wow, that you know, the price he paid to get what he wanted, that sucks. And that's very Black Mirror. So I feel like I'm being unfair.
Well, yeah, I think that the writing and the message and everything is like it's solid and it's in line with all the other episodes. But I think that because it is like an older technology, like it's not as impactful to us because we don't use VHSs regularly, and we've seen this like somebody finds a VHS tape with like some crime on it, like that's been done a ton of times.
Sure.
And most of the time with Black Mirror, it's like imagined or not imagined, but like like an imagining of like new technology or like what the technology would look like, which is more what we're like kind of afraid of, I guess. But
yeah, it's very like predictive and like Nostradamus of of sci-fi.
Sure.
So it was interesting to kind of see older technology be used in a very straightforward manner. It's not like they took the old technology and merged it with new technology to pull some image off of it that you couldn't have seen before,
right?
Or something like So, but that, as I said, that's we're putting the franchise in a box.
Yeah, I
mean, and this deals with horror technology, and there is no written law that it has to follow any guidelines. I mean, you could have an episode that was like completely in like the 1600s, and it was just a really cool episode. It wouldn't follow the theme, but as long as the episode was good. I don't know. Like, are they required to always use technology? I mean, well, I guess technically, but I
think
just
the technology should be kind of a staple. But I'm
not saying
technology. You can use old technology for sure, which they do here, and they could go back in time even further and use like.
Sure, but that's what I'm saying. Like anything is technology for its time.
Yeah.
Right. Anything that's a discovery. But anyways, that's that. Anything more to say? I think like usual, and I know there's a lot of odd couples out there, so I'm always like too hard on this stuff, but I always do have a hard time believing in certain couples, and this one definitely had me going, would they be together? This didn't look like much of a match to me. Yeah. She seemed like, I should say he seemed like she was out of his league. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's not other than that. That was fine. I didn't really care. It was just something I noted when we were watching. I was like, would she go out with him? Maybe. Yeah, you never know. But that's that. Moving on.
Bye.